Hey everyone, excuse me, Katrina Sawa here. I am so excited to come to you live. I did so many lives in the month of February that I want to start making it a little bit more of a habit. Who knows? I really love speaking, and if you're a speaker, you know how impactful it is when you get in front of peeps, but I like them when they're in the room. So if I'm just talking to you, it's like, you're not there. Please talk to me back. But today I want to talk about the behind the scenes of a virtual summit. So some of you might know, I just held a virtual summit. It was 2 days. It was called the Love Yourself Successful Summit, based on my new book, Love Yourself Successful, that just came out, my second edition. And I had 28 speakers, including myself. And it was a huge success. And I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I'd held summits before. Like last year, I held 2 summits, but I did them myself. And they were 1 days, and they were with clients or authors that I had in some of the books that I do. And so it was a little bit easier to bring the speakers in. I didn't really do a lot of upsells or selling. It was mostly to promote and showcase them, right? So the first thing I want to talk to you about behind the scenes of a successful virtual summit is really why you want to do a summit, right? And what are your goals and your purpose with the summit? So I see a lot of people doing summits, especially when they're brand new in business, because they think, or they're told it's going to build your list, right? You might get 2,000 people on your list. Well, maybe. I think when they were first, summits were first done and introduced like years ago, I think they were getting 2,000 people per summit, but not so much anymore, I think. And unfortunately, the show up rate. So if you have a show up rate is, God, I think for mine was like 5%. Actually showed up, not no showed. So you have to get even more and more people, and you have to do so much marketing to get those attendees to actually come live. You have to bribe them with prizes. You have to do all kinds of things to get them to come live, right? So there's some pros and cons here, right? So there's certain times, I think, when it's a good time to do a summit in your business. I would say more when you're a little bit more established, because then you're not worried about cash flow. You're not worried about getting a client today to pay your bills. So if you have money coming in already, then it'd be a good time to have a summit perhaps. And yes, you can build your list with the summit. It also builds your authority, right? More because you're the host, and you can bring in other speakers, and then you're associated with those speakers. It gives you visibility because all the speakers technically should be promoting it, right? Not all of them do, but most of them say they're gonna, and most of them do, I think. So it gives you more visibility to more people and more circles of people. You can build your list. And of course, you can make money. And I'll talk about some ways you can make money with a summit in a minute. But when is the best time? Again, when you're not stressed for cash flow. When you're not stressed for cash flow, is a good time to do a summit. If you're stressed for cash flow, please go be a speaker on other people's summits, right? And go speak and do your own calls and do your own master classes and do your own events to get people to experience you and then get them into your programs, products, and services. Focus on selling and getting clients, I would say, and then do the summit later. There's no urgency to do a summit anytime. It's just sometimes we get swirled into doing it because it sounds so much fun and everybody's doing one and everybody says they're going to come if you do one, right? But it's not always the case. Okay, so what kind of summit do you host? There's so many kinds. And what are the components you can put or include in your summit? It kind of goes back to your goals again, right? Or is your goal to really list build? Is it to make money? Because you can make money from a summit, but most people I see don't make a lot of money. Except for like the summit hosts, the people that do them all the time. I have some really good friends who do these and who put them on for other people. So that's who I hired to do mine recently. I'm not selling you anything here. This is not my business model. I don't do summits. I can brainstorm the strategy behind it as a business model or a marketing strategy as to growing your business, but I don't do the summit. I can connect you with the people who do, however, okay? So what kind of components? So most people do a multi-speaker, right? Usually it's a 1 day, sometimes it's 2 or 3 days or whatnot. And usually you see anywhere from 20 to 40 speakers on a summit for the most part. recently, some of my friends are doing mega summits, 100, 200 people per summit, speakers per summit. That's a lot. Like, I don't, yeah, no, I'm not going to share my opinion on that, but I don't usually participate in those because they're just too big and too overwhelming for most of the participants. So, but do you want a multi-speaker? Do you want a summit by yourself? Do you want to bring your clients on and showcase your clients and then not charge them? Or do you want to have it part of a package when they, do a book with you or get into your coaching program, that you'll also include a spot on your summit? So there's a lot of different things you can do to to have a summit. It certainly doesn't have to be on any kind of fancy platform. There are many, many event platforms out there that cost hundreds or thousands of dollars to buy and have access to do the summits on them. When you use a company like I did, they have the platform and I didn't have to pay for the platform. So they already paid for the platform. So I paid them obviously to help me facilitate and organize and manage the summit, but I did it on the platform because they already have it and they can use it for all their clients. But I don't think it's I don't recommend buying into that kind of software unless this is going to be one of your main things you do in your business. You're going to do 2 or 3 summits a year or giveaways, and you need a platform like that, okay? Because most of this stuff can be done over Zoom with an upgraded account. And honestly, I mean, I try to build the business the most affordable way possible. So I'm not going to go spending money on huge technologies and platforms if I don't need them. I've got a shopping cart, I've got the database management software, I got my website, and I got Zoom. And honestly, you can do anything you want with all of that and not have to spend on the others. That doesn't mean the platforms aren't good. There are, and I'm on some of them as a presenter or an event host. But I'm just giving you a heads up. The reality is you don't necessarily need to pay for that, okay? You just have to be skilled with using the systems that you have. So how are you going to get your speakers, right? So you put a call for speaker out. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people say, "Who you want to be on my summit?" And then they just take them to a call, and then they don't charge the speaker, or they charge very little. Depending on who you are and if you're a good marketer or if you have a good following, you can charge more for your speaker, and some speakers will choose to pay. I know my speakers that were on mine paid anywhere from $250 to $400 to be a speaker. But every single one of them, because I was on a call with them earlier, said, "Well, I did it because it was you. I don't usually pay to play, Katrina, but I know you and I know your credibility in marketing and I know that your work ethic and how much you put into stuff. And so I trusted it would all be a really good investment," right? So if you have that reputation or close to it, or you have good people that were gonna or you give lots of benefits to your speakers. I gave them separate interviews. I really showcased them a lot in my email and on social media, but also pre-summit and post-summit, I shared a lot of my speakers. So I gave them a lot. And there were some other benefits too that I could tell you later. But the point is that you think of how can your speakers benefit? So first you have to think, why am I doing it? How can I benefit? How can I profit from it? And then how can my speakers benefit and profit from it and make it a win-win for them as well? And then a win-win-win for the attendees as well. So let's talk about how to profit. So you can certainly charge your speakers, and you can charge them $100, $50, $250, whatever you want to charge, and you'll get X number of speakers. And there's some of the money that you would be, the revenue that you bring in from there. You can also charge for VIP upgrades. And a lot of times it's free to attend, but if you want the replays and you want to hear the replays in case you can't make them all, then you have to be a VIP and you get access to all the replays. $47, $97 is usually the cost for that. And a lot of people will be selling up throughout the whole summit into a VIP upgrade. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way, but you can't guarantee that everybody or a lot of people are going to do the VIP upgrade. So it's a riskier profit strategy. I prefer the upfront paid by the speaker strategy. And you don't want to charge for your summit, like paid for people to come and listen necessarily, because there's way too many free stuff out there that why would they pay for you when they can go to 14 other free ones and hear similar speakers or sessions, right? So I wouldn't charge your attendees either. You can do a VIP upgrade, which can include other things though too, not just the replays. Like it can include extra content. I was at one time that I didn't upgrade because I didn't really see the value, but they were offering like a session with the speakers at the end of the day, and only the VIPs got to come to that, where they could do Q&A and stuff. So, you know, that could be a draw. You could throw in extra bonus products, programs, and services from your speakers or yourself to that VIP upgrade. So it would be really, you know, it could be $1,000 value for $47. And so it might be more of an easy yes offer. You can give access to yourself or other things to sell that VIP upgrade. And you can also, like I did a book launch during my summit, but I wasn't really, it's not a lot of profit because I was sending them to Amazon to buy the 99-cent ebook, right? So I think I made, I don't know, a couple cents of each book that paid. But the point is that I coupled it with something. So I had a lot more eyeballs on my summit that day because of my book launch too. So it was a little bit more work, but because I'm super organized and I have a team of people that are helping me, not only the team I paid for this, but also my current team, I was able to manage it all better, right? So again, when you're thinking about doing a summit, don't just willy-nilly do a summit. If you don't have an assistant or somebody on your team to help you build the web pages, talk to the speakers, send email communication out, post some things. Also, when you're doing the summit, you need someone in your room constantly all day long, dropping links and reminders of the next session or things like that. So you really need a team to do this. I would not even attempt it. And in fact, I've been thinking about doing a summit for like 4 years since they started. And I'm like, no, I kept putting it off. Something in my intuition was telling me, kept putting it off until the time is right. And I had the right team. And so when I found the people that I found to do this one, I'm like, okay, you guys have this down. And so I'm hiring you and I'll do it now. Right? So it wasn't until I really had those people in place that I felt confident enough that it wouldn't overwhelm my time. Because I'm, you know, I have a lot going on. And so it wouldn't overwhelm my time, that I could actually do it and make a good effort at it. So it's a win-win-win for everybody involved. And then finally, being successful with an online summit and making it part of your business model, your marketing strategy to get clients and make money. I mentioned the team. I mentioned the tech. Please make sure you have some organization in how you're not only facilitating the summit and helping the speakers, but how you're also showcasing and positioning yourself as the expert, as the host. So you do have to position yourself. You can't get lost in promoting everybody else and not promote yourself. So like for my summit was a 2-day, and it went from 9 to 4 every day. And so I did the opening session, and I shared a story or a lesson in each opening session each day. And I shared the last half an hour. I did a wrap up and a Q&A. And then in the middle of the day, I did a 45-minute, 2 different signature talks. So it was me, and then a bunch of speakers, and then me, and then a bunch of speakers, and then me again, right? So I sandwiched myself in this. A lot of times people do summits and they barely even give themselves 30 minutes to talk one day. And so I would recommend you don't do that, because then the people I think the stickability, people that will opt in for your thing, a lot of them will leave. Like, we're always going to have people drop off and unsubscribe from after these things because they just signed up to get the stuff and then they want to leave, right? But I think people will be less likely to leave if you've really impressed them throughout the day yourself. If you haven't done anything except facilitate, then they're more likely to leave your list, especially if you're not good with the follow-up emails and the communication. And like, I constantly said, hey, did you hear that speaker? Did you hear that speaker? What did you like? Tell me your feedback. Da, da, da. And so I was really engaging with those, not only the speakers, but the attendees. I wasn't relying on the platform to engage with my attendees and my speakers. I was doing it also. So it's very important. I know it sounds overwhelming. A couple of things you need to be successful is also, like I said, you need someone to drop those links. You need someone to manage the replays and put them, because you have to upload them to YouTube or Vimeo and then put them on the website and make them available, right? And then organization. Oh my God, I am one of the super organized people I know. and I have spreadsheets. I mean, for this particular summit, we had all kinds of different spreadsheets going. We had Google folders of pictures and bios and, marketing copy and swipe copy and affiliate links. And we had all kinds of stuff organized. I had 3 different lists in the back end of my database of how I was communicating with all the speakers and the attendees. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I can say it was worth it for where I am at in my business now. And I sure thank all my speakers who did show up, if you're watching. And I thank my team who helped me, because it was a big feat. I couldn't have done it by myself. But I would think outside the box. So there are a lot of people that are teaching how to do a virtual summit, and they'll do it with you, and you pay them X dollars, and then they manage it for you. I would say, for the most part, they got it down and they know what they're doing, probably, for some of the teams I know that do this. But think outside the box a little bit. I mean, I created a call for speakers over on my website instead of their platform, because I could control the list building a little bit better. I could showcase the branding a little bit better. I didn't settle for not so good branding via the platform. We made our own images, and I sent my own emails. I didn't rely on the automated communication that isn't as passionate and assertive as I am, right? So just think a little outside the box, and don't just hide your head in the sand with, okay, so-and-so is going to handle it and I'm good, because you might not see the results you want to see. So there you go. There's the behind the scenes of a virtual summit. At least all the things I can think of now. It's at the end of the day, and usually my brain turns off at 5, so Pacific. So my brain is turning off, and I'm happy to answer questions, though. I just love to impart information to help you save time, save money, and make sure you're doing the right things in your business so that you can really build a consistent revenue generating business doing what you love. That is my ultimate goal for you. I want you to create your happiest life ever with your most exciting business, your best clients, and a lot of love in your life. And if you're interested in talking to me, talk to me. Reach out. All my links and everything to my website is all over social media. I'm happy to have a private call with you. Just private message me. Don't be afraid. Oh, she's too busy. No, don't say that. Stop it. Right? So anyways, hope you learned something. Hope I gave you some new insight and helped you make the decision whether to do it or not do it, and how to do it. If you're going to do a summit like this. So I will, here's a link to my website where I'm hosting a bunch of free masterclasses in the month of March. You're welcome to come and join me. If you go to jumpstartevents.net, you'll see them all. Most of them are free. There's a couple paid things there. That's where you can always look for things that I'm hosting, and get on the email list, and maybe you'll learn more. All right. Have a good night, you guys. Bye now.